We got Leroy in 5 minutes, so we're going to do this topic in 5 minutes here. The Cavs made the play-in game, then they made the playoffs, then they won a playoff series. Is this team, on paper, I know it's a lot matchup dependent, is this team talented enough to continue that progression and win 2 playoff series this season? Jay, start us off.
Are they talented enough? Yes. Will they? That's a huge question because they have to be better than either the Celtics or the Knicks to do that. And I'm just mentioning those 2 teams.
Yeah.
And I don't think they are. Now, based on what I saw last year, I don't think they are. And you can't look at them on paper and say, well, these are the improvements they made, because the improvements they made won't dribble, won't play defense, and won't shoot a shot this year.
Unless they get Evan Mobley to be a shooter.
No, I'm saying the improvements they made in their roster. Their roster is what it was. So they're running that back.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out what difference a coach can make in an NBA team, because this literally is the perfect experiment for it. You're bringing everybody back, and the only control here was JB out, Kenny in. Yeah. So let's see how this plays out. I might be pleasantly surprised, by the way, and I love the progression. You make the play-in, then you make the playoffs, then you win a playoff series. The natural progression is you have to make it to the conference finals this year to continue on that spectrum of improvement. Do I think they will? No. I think they're capable of doing it, and it would be a surprise to me if they do, because I just think the Knicks and the Celtics are the class of the conference.
I feel the same way. I mean, they're going to have to get lucky, right? They don't have any margin for error.
Yeah, you mean like an injury to the Knicks? Or the
right, and just that they have to stay healthy,
right,
and they have to be right, and they haven't been going into either of these the postseason the last 2 years, and so because I feel like players,
is Jared Allen still day to day? By the way, do we know?
I think he's playing.
He's playing.
I mean, last we heard, he was day to day for like a month.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the NBA
playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he's
fine.
I just feel
scared me for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
I'm just being sarcastic.
I just feel like
just want to check.
Players 1 through 4, the Cavs are really good, but the rest of their roster is just
Yeah.
And that's I feel like the Knicks and the Celtics have a much better 5 through 10 than the Cavs.
The supporting cast is very, very important.
We've talked a lot about like the new era of the NBA. Like this is the new frontier.
Yeah.
Where the old way is gone. With the cap and the way that they do this, it's a totally different model now. And the Cavs are a really deep team. They're a deep and talented team. And Kenny was talking about playing 11 and 12 guys. I don't know how you can do that.
So you disagree. You don't think they're a problem 5 to 10?
The Cavs?
Yeah.
No.
You think they compete?
Well, here's the thing. In the previous NBA, stars drove everything. Mm-hmm. If you had, look at the Heat, you win a championship.
It was the Three Musketeers.
Right. Yes, you have then 3 guys that could drag everybody to a
Celtics started
championship.
that.
Yeah, and I don't know, in this era of parity, I don't know that that's true anymore. I mean, if you can get 3 guys on the team, great, but it's less and less and less where you can actually have 3 bona fide superstars on a team. Mm-hmm. They're making that impossible. And we are so new into this, I don't know that we have all the answers yet. But I do think that the Cavs, like, bench matters. You got to have 3 or 4 guys who can play off the bench. And they first year against the Knicks, they had like 1 playable bench guy. So their depth will help them at some point. The answer that nobody has the question to is it's still a top-heavy, star-driven league. And the old adage in the NBA was 4 quarters don't equal $1. If you have 4 quarter players, you still want a $1 player. You'll take a $1 player over 4 quarters every time. Yeah. And I've actually asked around in Vegas when I was in Vegas for Summer League and just poking around the league. I'm like, is that still true? And a few guys have said, like, we don't know yet. Like, this is so new. And this is really only year 2 of this. The one thing I'll tell you is you look at Phoenix. Phoenix got into cap hell with a flawed roster. And if you do that, if you get to where they were with a broken roster, you have no levers to improve yourself.
Well, then you have to tear it down, don't you?
So, well, they're not tearing it down, but they still are a very flawed team. Where the Cavs is really interesting, and we've touched on this, they signed everybody. So when they get there, and it's not going to be this year, they'll start heading into tax waters next year, I think. When they get there, in their minds, they have an assembled roster. Like I'm not saying they are without weakness, but they have a deep roster that can do a bunch of different things. And that's really where you have to be when you get to the tax levels where they're going.
So will they win 2 rounds this year?
No. I don't like. Mike and I talked about it last night.
Yeah.
I agree that I think they're talented enough to do it. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's matchup dependent. When you're looking at the playoffs, when you talk about, I mean, no one's mentioned the Bucks. The Bucks have Giannis.
I know.
If you have
Right.
Giannis, you got a chance.
There's your dollar.
Yeah, and obviously the Celtics.
Philly.
The Knicks are very top heavy. They don't have a lot of depth. They're sort of built the old way. How does that hold up? I'm not a Philly guy. I don't like Philly at all. I think Embiid's a dog. Paul George is old, but obviously you have to consider them.
Orlando
Is coming.
Dude,
Orlando
we
is coming.
found out.
And guess what? We haven't mentioned the Pacers, and the Pacers went to the conference finals. That's
true.
So it is a really, really deep conference
tough,
right now.
yeah.
I don't think, like, if gun to my head today, I would say probably second round exit again. But they have the talent. They have the talent to make the finals. I absolutely believe they have the talent. In this new era of NBA parity, they have the talent to make the finals.
It also seems like, and maybe this is not true. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but so you guys tell me what you think. It seems like in the last 5 years or so, 6 years, whatever, that there are more superstars that are getting hurt in the playoffs, and that is changing the landscape of the postseason so much more. I feel like than it did in the past.
I don't know if that's anecdotal
I don't.
or what the
I
numbers
don't know.
show.
I can't. I don't know.
I'm with you though.
It seems that way.
We've been decimated by the injuries.
Right.
There's been so many.
And the Cavs are very much a team that believes in load management, running in the red, sitting guys, holding
Yeah.
guys, making sure they're fresh for the postseason. And then you have Tom Thibodeau, who just grinds guys into dust all season long. And so, like, there is, I don't know if there is one necessary right answer. There's just philosophical ways that you believe in doing things.
Well, I mean, we talked about it's the equivalent in the NFL was don't play him in the preseason, and look at the Browns.
Yeah.
They didn't play anybody in the preseason, and then when live action was fired up, they were dropping
They were
like
not ready.
flies.
Right.
Because it was the first action they'd really seen.
But the NBA's preseason is 82 games, though.
Not
not three.
100% wrong on that, Bull.
No, yeah, you're not, Bull.
We're going to pivot and talk to Leroy about the Browns. If you want more Cavs content, Jason and I did 55 minutes on the Cavs last night. It's
Whoa.
on our YouTube page. You can hear us talk about which Cavs players need to take steroids the most, which storylines need to watch.
What?
Mike,
Listen, it was a wild show. We went in with no rundown. We won it. It was a blast.
Mike threw that
55
grenade at me
minutes.
at
Did
the
you just
end.
say you wung it?
He did. They won
We
it.
won it.
Or you winged it.
We won it, and it was a good show, so it's on our
Wung it.
YouTube page. Check it out.